Welcome everyone to this month's edition of IT and security vulnerability breaking news. Also, this is the wrong page as per usual. And we are busy multitasking. That is the right page. Plugin own. Welcome to this newscast. Latest and greatest of Checkmate and Checkrain, the Apple, iPhone, iOS, and latest and greatest T2 security chip. Also not to mismatch with our amazing T2 open source distribution. Anyway, so previously you have seen iOS hacked wide open, and now the latest update is the MacBook T2 security chip 2. And so what they've done and seen previously, probably this anyway, previous news that we already has. Leave me in the comments below if you want to see more of this news. But long story short, last week or some 14 days ago, they fully hacked the T2 or T2 security chip. So as you remember, the chip Apple puts there into MacBooks for security, and I always said, gives me no security. I have nothing. I want to install my Linux or Windows or Mac OS. So what does this T2 stuff, also this pseudo security stuff of, hey, we have the security, and of course it's hacked. Also a recurring theme, everything is hacked. And so this week, so this was last week, which we skipped over because this week is like, plug it in and own it, port open, because USB port, as seen on the previous channel, USB-C, also alt mode, and 2000 pages of specifications and so on. And so because, as we all obviously know, the T2 bridge OS, also this bridge OS is like the T2 bridge in this MacBooks, similar to nearly iOS. Also as seen at Louis Rossmann, DFU, not only 2020, not only DFU recovery and firmware upload on your iOS devices, but also your Mac. Also 2020, your freaking Mac doesn't boot anymore if your T2 security chip is somewhat upset and irritated and firmware and stuff. But Thunderbolt controller connected there, T2 USB, host DFU recovery, various UART serial lines, debug pins. And so it turns out that the T2 chip there is enough connected to the USB that you can also, apparently a USB power delivery, also 2020, of course, Apple proprietary USB PD. We have seen this previous video, power delivery, gallium nitride, compact chargers there, and apparently, what would be 2020 without some proprietary power delivery? 2000 pages is not enough standard pages, and you need some proprietary extensions. Cause the T2 to be rebooted after the 2 can held in DFU state. Putting those two things together, you can cause the T2 to restart reading. So one USB cable 2020, one USB cable, your owner T2. What does it mean? So the T2 is fully compromised. You can boot Linux there on your touch bar thing, run Doom. So T2, not Linux but MacBook Doom. I hope I don't find here T2 stuff, but Doom. Legit running touch bar. In case you were wondering, probably we should demonstrate this live on this channel if I would have had such a garbage MacBook with T2 chip. Anyway, as I said, and many security researchers, all the Apple believers always, yes, but Apple and hardware and security. And I always said, what does it give me? I rather have some software algorithms that I can debug and have under my own control for full disk encryption than some hidden, obscure, we can't even control, let alone need to reverse engineer and custom code for, even use a freaking NVMe flash. And video demo, plug in a cable, DFU, jailbreak the thing, in case you were wondering. And also on, where was it even? 2020, in case you're wondering, the year of jailbreaks. Jailbreak, I think this was the latest bit of Checkrain. Let me just, you can catch up on. So this story, this was the previous story on 7th of October, so just 1 week ago. I already wanted to go live. Leave me in the comments below if you want to see this newscast more often. So also Apple and all the other companies always like security by obscurity and only supporting Windows and stuff. How did this come all together? When you read here the T2 team, which still triggers me of freaking of this name since 2004, and Apple just comes and steals it from us because they're such douchebags. But anyway, so iOS, Bruce Force offsets T2 boot ROM. Also student T2 Linux, so maybe we need, also 2020, do we need to buy, because on the other hand, Apple probably soon calls the next thing T3 or something, so then maybe in a decade it's forgotten, and, but anyway, this is hilarious. T2 Linux drivers, this triggers me so much. Analyzed hardware, so some of this stuff is only came along to support this. Machines also vote with your wallet and don't buy this standard incompatible machines, because then you need to reverse engineer it for even freaking use it with Linux. So part of the similar to the PS3 and other stuff, if you don't allow developers to use their hardware how they feel fit, and they eventually hack it anyway, in case you're wondering. Speaking of Apple, ProtonMail CEO calls Apple forced in-app purchases Mafia extortion. Previous theme, I had a couple of videos. We mostly somewhat focus on YouTube, building our YouTube audience instead of apps, because embedded Linux again, because Apple said nothing about having iApp until it saw an uptick in ProtonMail's apps. Also 2020, you have your fine small little app and everything is fine. You have this free app of just your email app for email, and as soon as this stuff downloads a little bit, like, hey, there at ProtonMail, Apple speaking here, actually you have this nice little app there. Wouldn't it be nice if you would still have it in the store next month? But the encrypted email provider says Apple forced it to monetize its app. This is hilarious. We had previous videos, so many issues and everything. It's impossible to work. Well, it's not work with Apple, like it's working to Apple's dictation, which I'm not really in favor of. Dictatorships in countries, no app stores. And did the former app store exec accuse the company of using its rules to weaponize something? So ProtonMail CEO NDN says his company is not the only one suffer Apple's strong arm tactics. Others are afraid to speak about it. Well, certainly not us. A lot of fear in the space right now. People are completely petrified and saying anything. Isn't Apple a super nice company, super user-friendly and stuff, and afraid of speaking? And out of the blue, one day they said if you have an in-app purchase to stay in the App Store, so you need to pay Apple $99 and give them 30%. You can have a free app like Facebook or stuff, and it's like, unless they call you and like, you have to add an in-app purchase, because otherwise we don't make profit. It's hilarious. In similar news, as amazing as Apple is, Apple tells secure messaging app Telegram to take down Protestor's channel of Belarus. A fun fact, we should probably, Telegram Wiki, I think Telegram, the last time I checked, it probably was a Russian-based company based in Moscow. Telegram messenger of cloud-based, no, not cloud-based. It's currently, so apparently, so Telegram had employees in St. Petersburg, but is currently based in Dubai. Several Russian position, something blocking Telegram was banned in Russia by a Moscow court. Okay, maybe it's not a. I thought it's Russian-based, maybe it was. It's a bit unclear. Do they have here? But whatever, not the most important. What is important, however, is that Apple allegedly told this messenger there, like, isn't it a nice messenger you have? There. Wouldn't it be nice if you continue to have it shut down these 3 channels? Also, isn't this nice how user-friendly, like the nice users of Apple in Belarus organizing their democratic and friendly, peaceful protests of stopping some dictatorship, the last dictator of Europe or something of that sort. And so these channels are a tool of Belarus citizens protesting the recent rigged presidential election, also a rigged presidential election, right, in orange. country of United States, maybe coming up next time. In US government tells Apple to shut down some US channels or so. But yeah, isn't it the crazy time that the most valuable, who would have thought a couple of years ago, like growing up 80s, 90s of free world and Western and values and stuff, that's 2020, and the biggest, most successful, richest companies in the world censor free speech in other countries. It's just hilarious. It's so sad. It's like makes me literally vote with my wallet, like I have already done, and not buy any Apple products anymore. And also in similar news, Snowden papers, all the other stuff, governments, censorship, crypto wars. Yeah, crypto wars. Is it crypto wars 2.0, where we or actually others, as I was younger, others on our behalf were fighting the crypto wars 0.1. Let's quickly fact check the crypto wars 2 if we are currently not that we are in crypto wars 3, but apparently 2017, that makes somewhat sense. So yeah, crypto wars 2.1 of Western governments want to censor all our precious secure communications away, like this amazing video chat and channel. Yeah, if you have questions about Apple and privacy and stuff, and ask no more. In similar, very frustrating, wait a second, this was this first CVE 2020-1689 8 Windows TCP IP remote code execution vulnerability. What does it mean? Remote code execution, of course, mean executing code remote on other people's machines. Exists when a Windows TCP IP stack improperly handles ICMP version 6. Previous video, IPv6. Here, live on this channel. And the attacker can successfully exploit the vulnerability, could gain ability to execute code. As certainly, it totally helps that with IPv6 machines are more directly connected with usually less network address translation. The update addresses the vulnerability, correcting how the Windows TCP IP stack handles ICMP version 6 router advertisement packets. It's like, seriously, what the heck? You had one job, so much to recurring theme here, and why our dream on the main channel also sometimes getting a little more modern state-of-the-art microkernel and similar research. And why I say network stack, yes, performance, and certainly compiling here. Rust, I'm pretty much aware how slow stuff can be. But yeah, performance is only skin deep as your remote code execution stuff. So this means if someone in your network can send you, like in a internet cafe, a regular coffee or hotel, trade show, and so on, home, friends, neighbor, work, take over your Windows machine with a nice router advertisement packet. In similar, very frustrating news, in case you were basing on this dark side of Microsoft Office stuff, the third Office, so yeah, not only us but other major news sites here, very frustrating. So it's not only our impression of 2020, but Microsoft Office. Third outage in less than 2 weeks, in case you were wondering if you should base your business on this kind of amazing Microsoft quality. Has affected apps such as Microsoft Teams and Outlook, so that probably were a very productive week there at home. In the home office for the third time in 10 days. It's like, it looks like, yeah, move it to the cloud for amazing uptime, redundancy, and yeah, critical productivity apps for some people. Investigating the issue affecting the stuff of probably it were amazing router advertisement updates, like they're on Microsoft Windows, Azure, and why maybe they switch to a Linux kernel eventually. In similar news of companies using Microsoft Windows-based technology, Software AG data released after Clop ransomware strike. Clop Group attacked Software AG, a German conglomerate with operates in more than 70 countries, threatening to dump stolen data in the whopping 23 million. Ransom isn't paid. Clop and the group signature malware has struck again. This time also a recurring theme on this, why I already don't do this weekly, because it's recurring theme here. Just the biggest noteworthy of recurring theme, and just to spread some awareness which products might be more secure and which less. And hospitals, police stations, law courthouses, universities, and now Software AG has shut down their internal systems in a controlled manner in accordance with the company's internal security regulations. Obtained the first evidence that the data was downloaded from the servers and employees' notebooks and so on and so on. In case you got the idea, in similar but different news, all the bloody cookies here. Backdoor in Xplora kits smartwatches that can secretly take pictures, record audio, and on command by encrypted text. It was just code left from a prototype, says hardware manufacturers. Like, yeah, seriously, if there is some backdoor of can secretly take pictures, record audio, and command on command, then it's obviously just isn't it a nice coincidence how this code of backdoors, like routers and stuff, it's like, yeah, we just for debugging purposes trust us. It's like, yeah, it's just pure accident. Maybe also a fun fact, the Euler end-user license agreement, I've even read some parts of the Apple App Store Euler, because that was a little bit hilarious what is written there, in case you're wondering. And maybe it's also time to not only vote with your wallet here, my recurring theme, but also take software hardware companies more responsible. Like ASUS mainboard here on the other channel, we upgraded the firmware. It was significantly of multiple firmware versions in between of improved performance and stability, and it was less performant and less stable. And then ASUS didn't even allow the users like us to flash the previous firmware. And this should be much more often taken to court and like really fought through. And instead of the government outlawing crypto for securely accessing your bank account and communicating in your company and stuff, which will only lead to even more security disasters, have a warranty. Like, isn't it funny how your car has a warranty but your bloody software not? Maybe, and I say this as a software developer, and maybe it's also time for more warranty of hardware and software. It's of course difficult if your hardware is already, so do I would want to make a warranty for software? It's like, on my own hardware maybe, because Apple's peak bugs and T2 security chip, but something has to change. I mean, it's software is the future and the oil of the 21st century, and yet no warranty, everything failing, peak bugs. Certainly, I'm calling here, as heard here on this channel's time for change. Speaking about time for change, Google Supreme Court face-off with Oracle. Also, why you probably want some appropriate Supreme Court judges and not some random questionable figures there. Long-standing Oracle face-off, not sure if I mentioned this before, maybe a little bit. This is way older, like a decade old than our YouTube channels here. This is whether Oracle, who purchased Sun Microsystems and now owns Java, unfortunately, accusing accusing Google of illegally copying the Java APIs of like string concatenation stuff. A previous court even ruled this okay, whereas a judge even could program a little bit. There's also recurring theme of maybe everyone should understand software, hardware, and IT a little bit on the most basic level of like how you understand a light bulb or something, because the previous court's judge did not allow being bullshitted there from Oracle's lawyers in terms of API copyrights. But it turns out, according to this article and reporting, allegedly seem poised to allow copyrights on APIs, which will of course a super huge disaster for the industry, not only for Google's Android, which I couldn't really care too much less about, but also Wine and all the other interoperability. And I would, as much as you could say, yes, piece of art, and other it's text, so like it's a book, novel, or music and stuff, I would still argue, sure, program code, of course, but API, just the API of calling convention of this is a name and these are the arguments, in my opinion, there should be a limit, especially in terms of the rest of the source code is copyrighted anyway, and the pure API, it's just describing how to call it. Also, the question is actually, could there be a workaround? So huge reporting here. You probably want to read this if you're in this. Also, yeah, Google lawyer did an optimal job. You really wonder, so this high paid, I mean, I have so much, similar to Louis Rossman, so much bad experience in so many levels, including parcel deliveries, not delivering, just today at home again, not, and made previous videos. And ASUS board, and yes, these are parcel delivery and ASUS are certainly two entirely different things, but the issue is the same of companies, just not, they just, everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people do a lot of stuff very half-assed, and you really wonder of, certainly there is a huge going from parcel delivery to lawyer, but how can one of the biggest, richest companies like Google have like optimal lawyers of doing not a great job? It's like, seriously, did they not have like a decade to prepare? How can in 2020 lawyers do an optimal job, except maybe they intentionally wanted to? And this is really, I mean, they get certainly 100,000 if the whole, certainly Google doesn't hire a lone lawyer, so likely they don't spend hundreds, thousands, but millions on some law firm, and then all they get is an optimal job for one of the biggest, most important IT Supreme Court cases in certainly this century or something. I wonder a little bit, though, whether, which do I, whether you can, this is large enough for you, if you have some API, let's do this here, see, because not typing Java too often, like let's pretend this is some Windows 32, whatever, wait for, let's object something, whatever. If this, it's like some super simplified example, but if you say, or if this outcome here of the Supreme Court ruling will be APIs can be copyrighted, then okay, well, sure, this here looks somewhat like maybe some Microsoft Windows sources, but if you, I wonder if the workaround could be, the only problem is like not using this here, so there will be like void handle, or actually handle or whatever, that doesn't matter much. But if you work around this by not reusing all of this, but having some other description of like function entry and then return is like, if you just like use completely different language to describe this, so maybe use here 0 and have here some like totally different encoding for return args of maybe even start with like to make this more different of wait object, and then what kind of type like function and 0 return, and like if you just like encode this entirely different and say, hey, look what this looks like for a judge. I'm certainly not a lawyer, but just trying to brainstorm here for how we could work around this, like making like API bindings. So certainly there are already other replacement header things. I think like MinGW or something had some header stubs of some sort for DLLs. So yeah, maybe something of like encoding it entirely different just to satisfy some weird judges there for that might actually be some way to go for that, maybe. But the only problem is, of course, it's a function name or method names would still be in there. In similar, not as amazing news, Samsung smart TV owners complain about increasingly obtrusive ads. Isn't it a crazy future? And welcome everyone where we live in, where not only TVs, you buy expensive luxury TVs with full price, not leasing, renting and stuff, and then you smart garbage, which I on this channel, this and the main channel, and warned previously, and warned you and my father, who also. But the problem is, of course, can you still buy non-smart TVs, right? And then in 2020 they display you more and more ads. It's hilarious. I think we had also news some time ago of some company sending a lot of data home of what you're watching, even if you watch files from a thumb drive and stuff. But it's ads in your TV face. Here we have it. You want to watch something and get TVs is like, yeah, totally not supporting this. Also, I said before, just don't buy the smart stuff, buy a bloody dumb display and just have this under your control. But yeah, 2020, you probably need to flash your smart TV with a T2 Linux unsmart TV edition or so to get that stable and ad-free experience or ad blocker for your smart TV. In similar amazing news, we had in previous news also amazing advertisements. Right? Yes, I know why some people use ad blockers. You can't make this stuff up. The case for ad blockers just on this website, probably that is in Daily Mail UK thing or something. But we had this before. Excel gene research with bugs due to Excel and yeah, 2020 analog virus reporting numbers through Excel, because apparently Excel is a database. And so what happened? Excel bungle makes daily cases hitting 11,000. Boris Johnson there admits that he has no idea how many of patient contacts could be infected. So yeah, 2020 governments have no idea because the IT infrastructure is based on Excel. And also why you probably don't want to use Excel. And it's like, yeah, I know some people, yes, I get it, I need to install NetBlocker. But so what happened? So has been revealed that 16,000, so some 16,000 contact tracing stuff of big jump on Saturday because Excel table was full. Yes, can't make the stuff up. Apparently cannot store more than what is it, 11 or 16,000 or whatever, something. So yeah, 2020 you can't keep track of your cases because Excel table is full. Rows, how's it, rows or maximum table, can't, hello table, what is even the maximum, and what garbage news site is it here? I mean, how you even want to operate with that. Anyway, you get the idea. You can read the details if you find them between these bloody advertisements. Can we on a contact traces of reporting infected over 50,000, so whatever. I'm not really sure what exactly the Excel limit is here that they run into, but the table was so full. How many maximum rows? I mean, also, yeah, 2020, I mean, that people, but this is also spreading awareness, right? Somehow trying to do this here on this channel. And yeah, certainly this is like face smiling your documents in 2020. No, don't do this. And IT infrastructure. No, you don't run a database based on Excel and also not on Access. Does this even still exist? I have no idea because not Windows products here. But let's see, what would be the Excel limit of that? Excel bungle, does someone know, contains meltdown was caused by an Excel spreadsheet containing lab results reaching the maximum size, failing to update. Some 15,851 cases between September were not uploaded to the government's dashboard. So yeah, government's dashboard 2020, only live on this channel, government dashboards. Here you have it black on white on between the advertisements. Government reporting and dashboards run on Excel spreadsheets. In case you were wondering why everything is so 2020. Unable to even say how many people were being contact traced in the wake of this, and I thought maybe I didn't click here on silence this, but we're mostly through. Anyway, speaking of governments, UK, this is government crisis. This is hilarious, right? Culture secretary distances themselves from widely mocked poster amid job loss in. So Fatima's next job could be in cyber. She just doesn't know it yet. Young dancer government cyber first campaign is like, seriously, what the heck? And this is also in part, I know someone, don't certainly as usual, don't want to close here personal details, also general data protection stuff. But so I know someone who was in business or is still in business, and studies now in, actually fun fact, in the UK, because apparently next job could be in cyber. So I know some business person who knows how to power on a PC and switch it down, and how to unlock and send an email from an iPhone. Studies cyber security in the UK. And maybe this somehow, I mean, nothing against that. If someone certainly is good in that and interested in that, maybe like he did IT his whole life and is super good at that, and just the parents force them to study business because business is so, and he does IT anyway, it's certainly amazing. But like when you are a certain age, like not 20 anymore, like ourselves or so, and you never were like in IT and you were like in business, and then you like studies, you think like with 40 plus or so you make a career in cybersecurity, then I have big doubts, and maybe yeah, anyway, we will. But this person now knows what a MAC address is, and added a MAC address filter to their Wi-Fi access point, in case you were wondering. Anyway, but this also needs to somewhat stop. It's certainly nothing against people being an art. Hey, I play guitar myself, but this mindset of governments of, hey, we now do IT and everyone in school. So this also, I'm certainly not like here sitting, everyone needs to do IT. No, of course not. And this is not only the only profession. We still need electricians and woodworkers and artists and stuff. And everyone should do what they have a passion in and love. And if you don't have a passion in IT or electronics and stuff, then don't freaking do it, because otherwise we just get as amazing security as we currently. Yeah, maybe this also was a dancer who wrote the ICMP version 6 router advertisement handling in Windows. But so long story short, this mindset like everyone can code, well, sure, maybe if you are born then everyone can code, but if you already grew up like doing art for 20 years, maybe then you are better in art and not in cybersecurity. And yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell if governments, between satire and to take governments seriously, and I don't know what's going on in their mind. In similar, what's going on in their mind study finds a single largest driver of misinformation is Trump here, according to the Cornell University analyzed. So yeah, 2020, the research field is analyzing Twitter. Apparently 38 million English language articles about the fact-checking here, usually great fan here on this channel, and about this currently ongoing analog virus pandemic, found that the Orange president is the largest driver of infodemia. In case you were wondering, and this is not professionally studied, I have no further words to the state of 2020. I hope you learned something, and if you have an iDevice now, you know that you can fully hack it. If you're into such kind of stuff. Welcome everyone, and Marcus says, sounds like you found the solution C++, ban the usage of classes. Yeah, exactly, something of that sort. Anyway, that is only the rough summary. I'm sure I probably forgot something, because honestly I'm not only busy but didn't. This newscast doesn't do the most. I will for sure somehow continue it still, looking how to best build this format. Maybe it will also grow together with the other channel, but also leave me in the comments below. The people, some people like this update, some people find it therapeutic too. Well, certainly frustrated at the daily IT and seeing all the Excel spreadsheets and security vulnerabilities and wondering. And yeah, recurring theme, we need more security, we need more memory safety, we need more address-based isolation, and we certainly also need dancers and artists, and not everyone can do IT. Probably similar to you wouldn't do untrained professionals do your electric wiring unless you want that your house burns down, like Windows remote code execution. Anyway, looking forward to comments. Have a good day and night, and I hope to see you soon for the next videos, code work, and updates and news cards to come. Speaking about what did we bootstrap now here of Firefox, because we still haven't. Maybe I should also continue my career in playing guitar, not try to cross-compile Firefox, because nah. I disabled LTO stuff and we still have the same. Do we error of, no error of, what did we got ourselves? No invalid abstract instance. What? Invalid abstract, undefined reference. Did it change a little bit? But yeah, something there is out of alignment in regards to. In case you were wondering, is it a good idea to mix every language you can make up between C, C++, Rust, and certainly assembly and infrastructure, the state of Firefox infrastructure, and anyway, why it needed 1,000 engineers to maintain this pile of accumulated stuff, magic line. So no, this is, so I disabled forced LTO stuff, this still, nah. Anyway, so this still continues. So it's yeah, 99%, so close yet so far, and probably share, like, and subscribe to further motivate me to work on this strange cross-compile amazingness. And thanks for watching.